How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another FPL video during the international break. Today, we're going to be looking at value players from Game Week 5 onwards. These are players that are somewhat low owned, they're fairly cheap, and people should be looking at them to potentially bring into their teams after the international break, assuming that they come out of it unscathed. If you haven't done so already, make sure to leave a like on the video, hit that subscribe button. We're close to 1K, so we would be greatly appreciate if we could hit that, because at the end of the day, if we hit 1,000 subscribers and keep going, then I know that you guys are enjoying the videos, which helps me out, which ultimately helps you out and allows me to put more content out there for you guys, as well as leave a comment down below as to value players that you're going to be looking at, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And give us a follow over on Twitter and Twitch. It's Pilot Flame 226 on those platforms. We're actually a Twitch affiliate now, which means you can go subscribe over there. I haven't set it up yet, but by the time we go to do the next preview stream next week Monday, so less than a week from now, I'll make sure I have that set up. So if you want to get subscribed, I'll have to check the details. I'll let you guys know in the future for that. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first player we have on our list here is Phil Foden. He currently sits at 6.6 million, which is so cheap for a player that's playing out wide. He's getting in the box, he's getting shots off. He averages 4.3 points in the first 3 games that he's played, as he had a blank in game week 1. He's got a goal already this season. He's got 13 points total, no assists as of yet, but I think we'll definitely see his numbers increase as he gets more minutes. His next 3 fixtures are a bit of a mixed bag. So Arsenal at home in game week 5, FDR rating of 3. West Ham away, FDR rating of 2, looks quite favorable. And then they have Sheffield United, which is an FDR rating of 4, but Sheffield United look much weaker. So I would say this is probably an FDR rating of 3, maybe even 2. So I think that's quite favorable for the likes of City, who tend to score a lot of goals. Now with Phil Foden, he has created 3 chances, 5 shots, all inside the box, and he could be that new David Silva, the one that kind of likes to play the ball in and around the corner. Maybe he becomes the false 9 before, Jesus and Aguero come back, if they're not back for game week 5 versus Arsenal. But I think that another, number 8, that left-footed number 8 to partner with Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield is just something that they've been missing since David Silva has left the team and gone elsewhere. I just think they need that bit of extra creativity in midfield. He's got the ability to do so. He's very good at pressing, his Foden, especially when he's because of his pace. And he's got a little trick in him. He can dink the ball around the corner. He can give a little step over. He can run past a man. A lot of similar traits to basically what De Bruyne can do on his day, as well as what David Silva used to do in his prime. So I can see Foden coming in that slot there and being used less and less out on the wing. That'll probably be more to the likes of Raheem Sterling, Ferran Torres, Riyad Mahrez. These sorts of players will probably be played on the wing. I can see him kind of shifting and evolving his role in the midfield 3. The next player we have on our list here is Ryan Brewster. Now, he was a player that was signed by Sheffield United from Liverpool. He was a Liverpool Academy product. Didn't see any minutes this season, which is why he has donuts across the board. 0 points, 0 goals, 0 assists, and 0 average points. However, Sheffield United need goals. He's been proven to do that in the under 23s and under 18s. He's a very good finisher for his age, in terms of being able to finish with both feet, getting into correct positions. He looks like a really, really good talent, and especially in a Sheffield United team that's lacking goals this season, I think he can definitely bring it. He has a very good fixture in game week 5 with an FDR rating of 2 in Fulham at home, but then he's not going to be able to play, I don't think, against his old club in Liverpool, because he is, technically sold to them on loan. I don't know how that's going to work, because he was sold, I believe, but they have an option to buy back. I'm not sure if there's a clause where he can't play against Liverpool. We'll have to see, but let's go on the assumption he's not. We wouldn't want to probably play him in that game anyway, although Liverpool did just ship 7 to Aston Villa, so maybe that might not be a bad fixture. And then he has Manchester City at home, which again, against their defense, he can cause problems because they haven't really sorted it in terms of their fullbacks. They get too high up the pitch and then they get exploited in behind. And Brewster definitely has the pace to do that as well. I also think that for 4.5 million, you don't get very many forwards or very many midfielders in this bracket, where it's the cheapest that they could potentially be. and they're a starter for their team. I think he comes straight in. I think he's a fantastic talent, and I can see Rhian Brewster being brought in on a lot of wild cards and potentially some value picked up on him as he increases in price, because I don't think that many people had him from the start unless you were going 3-5-2, which a lot of people tried to do but then realized you couldn't really do with a 100 million budget. But now with certain midfielders emerging with cheaper prices, like Ziyech, who's going to 7.9, he'll be back after the international break. Pulisic is down to 8.3. He's a lot cheaper. Son seems cheap at 9 million. You know, these sorts of players can enable for 4.5 million forwards, or the vice versa. The 4.5 million forward can enable for these midfielders. And I think that Rhian Brewster is the perfect choice because you know he's going to get some game time, and he might be a starter, and I'm pretty sure he will be. They brought him in for a pretty decent price. I think it was somewhere around the mid £20 million transfer fee, and I think Liverpool would have to buy him back for 40 something or thereabouts. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but it was a decent sized fee, so they brought him in. Sheffield United need goals. They've only scored one in the games that they played this season. I think Rhian Brewster can definitely help them out in that category. The next player we have on our list is Thomas Souček. Now, his fixtures aren't great all the way up until the end of Game Week 7. He has Tottenham away, FDR rating of 4. Manchester City at home, FDR rating of 4. Liverpool away, FDR rating of 5. However, Manchester City have shown that they can concede goals, and same for Liverpool. So again, it's not going to be as bad as what people might think. He has seen a price drop. He's now 4.9 million, and he's basically the new Marouane Fellaini for West Ham. What he does is basically they play a 4-2-3-1 in most cases, do West Ham. And what he does is usually Noble plays in like the number 10. And then when they are transitioning in attack, Noble drops back or whoever's in that position. And then Souček takes up that position and goes in for the aerial threat, which is why he's got 13 points this season. You know, 3.13 from a 5.0 originally midfielder. He's got 1 assist, and I'm still confused on how he hasn't scored. He's taken 12 shots, 9 have been inside the box, so he definitely gets involved. He's a danger on set pieces, and West Ham have looked fantastic. Their early fixtures look dreadful. You know, they play, you know, some of the big six, as it were, next. You know, Spurs, not necessarily the greatest at defending set pieces. Same for Man City. Liverpool should pose a bit more threat in terms of set-piece defense and offense, as it were, and it could be an interesting clash there. But I think Souček is being undervalued here, 4.9 million. I certainly didn't have him at the beginning of the season. I thought those fixtures look awful, but he's shown to be a fantastic player. And once he was cleared of, you know, his quarantine stay, he came straight into the team when it was a scare that he could potentially have attracted the virus. So he's straight into the team, and he's looked like where he left off from the end of last season. You know, he's going to be a great FPL asset, assuming he stays fit. Antonio's doing a lot of work up front, holding up the ball, allowing Souček to get forward. And for a very big frame dude, you don't think that he would move, you know, as fast as he does, but he does move like decently quick. He gets up and down the field. If he gets a header in the box, he's making sure that he's back and he's ready for the tackle that he needs to make if the team breaks on the other end. So I think Souček is going to be a fantastic value pick at 4.9 million this season. The next player we have on our list here is a defender, Tariq Lamptey, a former Chelsea Academy product. He's 4.7 million. He was originally 4.5, and he's got 11 points this season with 3 assists, averaging 2.8 points across the 4 games played. And he has 2 very good fixtures with a not so good one in Game Week 7. So he's Crystal Palace away and West Brom at home in Game Week 5 and 6, which are FDR ratings of 2, which is the best you can. Well, I haven't seen an FDR rating of 1, but FDR rating of 2. Quite good. And then Spurs away, FDR rating of 4, with Spurs you know, flying high at the moment. They could see a bit of dip in form, but we'll have to see. They have great fixtures as well, so both teams could be going into it with very high expectations from their fans. Now, Lamptey's been a bit of a revelation at the club. He's bombing up and down the right flank. He acts almost basically as like a right forward, as it were, a right winger. He gets inside the box. He takes shots. He creates chances. He's taken 2 shots inside the box, which is both the shots he's taken this season in the 4 games that he's played. He's created 3 chances, and he's gotten 3 assists from them. And he just needs to, you know, keep starting, keep improving, you know, keep getting better. His pace is absolutely immense. And once Brighton start keeping clean sheets, which I definitely think they can do versus Crystal Palace and West Ham, they can definitely create havoc, because they're a team that they don't shy away from playing football. They don't sit back and defend. They play a wing-back style of system. They rely heavily on basically their 3 center backs to defend, and everyone else gets forward. They like to knock the ball around really nicely. They spread it wide to Lamptey. They spread it wide to Trossard. They allow Maupay to kind of dictate and like kind of make defenders kind of force their hand a bit in terms of his movement. And I think Lamptey is a great FPL asset. He's going to win penalties as he did versus United as well. And I think that he's just going to be a fantastic player for Brighton. And at 4.7 million, it's looking cheap. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if he was 5.5 million, a lot of people would still be buying him. So Tariq Lamptey, watch out for him. He's going to be a very good player if he stays fit. And I think Brighton could be a very underestimated team this season. Now, the last player we have on our list here is Patrick Van Aanholt. Now, you're probably thinking, another player that hasn't, played this season. He's got no points, no goals, no assists, average of 0 points per game, and he's seen a price drop in 5.4 million. Why would I want him? Well, Crystal Palace have had very good fixtures, as well as they have even better fixtures coming up. Brighton at home could be a very good fixture for them, even though Brighton have been playing quite well, but Palace have been very resilient defensively. Fulham away. Fulham look like a team that could be potentially already seen as a relegation fodder team already. And then Wolves away. That's not necessarily a difficult fixture, as Wolves have been quite poor recently and haven't been that much of a threat in front of goal. Not really, getting more than like a few shots per game. But Patrick Van Aanholt is a very unique defender. He gets forward quite a lot. He's less than 5.5 million, so he's cheaper than the likes of Semedo, who just came into Wolves. He's cheaper than Castagne. These sorts of players. And I think he gets even more involved in the attack. Like, there are times where he's like Alonso, as far as Alonso did for Chelsea in the attack, like on the penalty spot sometimes, in the box taking shots. He can take some set pieces as well. I've seen him get taken down for penalties. And lastly, there's a very important aspect of Patrick Van Aanholt here, is that since Milivojevic has fallen out of favor, who's the club captain, as it were, for Crystal Palace, for I think it's MacArthur and McCarthy. It's two confusing names, but those are the 2 central midfielders that they're playing with at the moment. And if Milivojevic isn't on the pitch, Patrick Van Aanholt's the one that takes penalties, so we could see a very unique asset here, a 5.4 million defender that plays for a team that's very solid defensively. He's very attacking, and he could be taking penalties at the same time as well when Milivojevic isn't on the pitch. Now, he is coming off a very long-standing injury. It was a basic dislocated shoulder that he suffered towards the end of last season. And if he's fully recovered from it and gets his match fitness, I think we can see him flying straight back into the team. That will unfortunately displace Mitchell, unless Mitchell gets moved over to the right-hand side, which Van Aanholt could potentially, do as well. We'll have to see kind of on that front. Maybe they just stick Van Aanholt out on the left wing. Who knows? And they put Zaha through the middle and Ayew out on the right. We'll have to see kind of how Hodgson plays it. But Van Aanholt is definitely a key asset, and I would say watch out for him, because he could be going into your FPL team in the next few weeks if he starts banging in some penalties, getting some assists, get taken down for penalties, and all those good things we like to see from a wingback in FPL. And that's going to do it for this edition of the value players, or players to watch, whatever you want to call it, for Game Week 5. If you haven't done so already, make sure to smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. We're closing in on 1,000 subscribers. I want to see if I can get 2,000 by the end of the Premier League season. That's not too much to ask. We can definitely hit that mark. So make sure to go hit that subscribe button. It's free to you, and it helps out the channel, which at the end of the day helps you guys out as well. Also, make sure to turn those notification bells on so you can get the content as soon as it's readily available, and give us a follow over on Twitter and Twitch. It's PilotFlame226 on those platforms. Every week we put a bulletin out on Twitter on Sundays to show you what videos are coming out, with the usual gaming videos on Sundays, and then FPL content throughout the week with deadline streams and preview streams slammed in there. We will be doing our preview stream next week Monday at 7 p.m. EDT, as we normally do, so we'll see how we did in the previous game week and all that sort of stuff. And then we'll be doing a deadline stream for Game Week 5 1 hour before the deadline. I'm not sure if it's changed, but last week for Game Week 4 it was 5 a.m. EDT, so it's going to be 1 hour before. But I know that there's daylight saving time coming soon. I think that might be at the beginning of November. I'm not sure when that is, but remember, it's just always 1 hour before the deadline for you guys, whatever time zone you are in. So thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.